So Trump's nominee for the Treasury Secretary, I guess, went for a confirmation in front of the Senate not too long ago, and they were discussing the minimum wage and if the federal government should raise it. And let's watch this and let's listen to his answers, and let's so we can get deep into it. Let's hit it.
Be. All right, but let me ask you another question. Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly
Real quick, just think that guy right there, 8 years ago, probably could have been your president if they didn't like railroad him to get Hillary Clinton as a Democratic nominee. But I'm gonna play the whole video without interruption.
be. All right, but let me ask you another question. Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's dive deep into this. Number one, he says that he believes it's a state and federal issue. This reminds me of the whole baby deletion bill that every woman was in an uproar about when they said that, Donald Trump was going to get rid of, they got rid of Roe v. Wade and you can't have these baby deletions and all that. And but it wasn't that he said you couldn't have it. They just said, Supreme Court just said, it's got to be a statewide. Let the states decide that. Keep the federal government out. Remember, that's what you voted for. Minimal government. You want government, but you don't want them in your business too much. So the federal government said, hey, leave it to the states if that's what you want to do. But everybody sat there and lied and said that they were trying to get rid of it. No. Leave it to the states. So it seems like the same thing here. And what he's saying is true to a point, because each state, the cost of living is different. Now, I looked up at the cost of living here in Dallas and how much it would cost, how much a person needs to earn to be able to live comfortably. And what it said is, now, last year they said, like, for a single person to have a one-bedroom apartment by themselves, they need to make $17 an hour to be able to afford it. Not necessarily live high on the hog, but to be able to afford an apartment. But when you look at the stats now, and you can Google it, and then the AI give you an answer, and it says to live comfortably as a single adult in Texas, you likely need to earn around $20.92 per hour or more. So this is based on the MIT living wage calculator, which you should pull up so you can calculate how much you need to make to be able to live comfortably. Let's say, which calculates the hourly wage needed to meet basic needs for a single adult without children. Then it says the average hourly wage in Texas is around $29.44, but this varies across occupations and industries. I work in the healthcare industry. I know people who make about $12 an hour, aides, techs, they make around about $12, $14 an hour, like to start out. I know nurses who make $50, $55 plus easy, at a like at a hospital or at a clinic, somewhere like that. Now, if they do travel, moving around, you can make a lot more money in any kind of field. You can make, a lot more money if you're willing to travel across states or travel locally. But so I guess they take, like I say, average is add them all up, divided by however much it is, however many participants you got, and that's the average. So the average is $29.44. It said for a more specific regional view, Dallas Fort Worth Arlington's living wage for a single adult is estimated at $22.78 per hour. Now, it said factors in influencing the right hourly wage, cost of living, housing, transportation, and other essentials vary across Texas, influence how much you earn. If you aim for a comfortable lifestyle with savings and leisure activities, you may need to earn more than the basic living wage. Cities like Dallas and Fort Worth have higher cost of living than some smaller towns, impacting the necessary hourly wage. So basically saying like, $20 is a good start. Now, where I live specifically, it said annually, it said to live comfortably in most parts of the US, a single person should aim for, this is no kids, no nothing. Just nobody else, just you. Of an annual income around $96,500 or more. This figure considers the cost of living, including housing, groceries, transportation, and entertainment, while allowing for savings and debt repayment. Like them credit cards, like those student loans you got, the car that you bought for 96 months because you can only afford $400 or $500 a month. So you got a car for like shit, 7, 8 year notes. Things of that nature. The trips you take when your bills are piling up, but you still want to go to Cancun and Mexico with your girls, and that kind of debt that you have to pay off, and trying to save. But don't just save. You need to invest. Get you somewhere in the stock market. Learn how to buy stocks, learn how to trade stocks, learn how to get mutual funds for, what I'm saying, put in for your 401k and index funds, things of that nature. What's interesting now, what's different than when I first started dabbling in the stock markets, is now you got Chat GTP. You got AI. You can go into Chat GTP and ask any questions you want about stock markets, like which stock is doing this, which stock is that doing that, which stock is selling this, which stock is going through certain things. And you look up numbers and what I'm saying, and debt and the money they making and the projections and stuff like that. You can look at all these numbers right there online. You can invest, but you got to, you invest slowly but surely. So yeah, like I say, he said it's like a regional thing. Now, me personally, when I was a kid working at Yards, minimum wage started out at like 4 and a quarter. And I worked at Yards about a year, maybe like a year, almost 2 years. Minimum wage started out at 4 and a quarter, and it went up to $5 by the time I left. That was in the mid 90s. The thing about minimum wage jobs, I feel, is that those are not jobs that you're supposed to keep long term. That's not nothing you're supposed to retire on. Hell, when I moved out of my parents' house and eventually get an apartment with me and the ex, I got a job making start at $6 an hour. We had all bills paid apartment, 4 and a quarter, and I was working part time. She was working part time. Then I ended up getting a full time job working in a warehouse, making $8 an hour. And they say if I can make it through the 30 days and no 90 days, I mean, I could be making like up to $10 an hour within 90 days. Boom, that was great. $10 an hour is a lot of money to where we was able to move out of that apartment and get another apartment where we had to pay our own utilities and had a car note. You see, so it's like, but back then you could do that. But again, the point is minimum wage was never, I feel minimum wage was for kids in high school or kids in college trying to work their way through school and not having bills, because parents taking care of everything. It's one of them jobs where it just shows you you can start out managing money without getting it too fast. The problem is a lot of people got comfortable in these jobs. They stayed at these jobs, had no plan for the future, and continue to be there. Hell, when I worked at this warehouse, like I said, the one that was I started out making like $8 an hour, got to $10 an hour. Within 10 years, I was making $13.30, which was like still nothing. And I said to myself, I can't live like this. I said, I got plans. I said, I got a family. I said, it's not, the raises are not big enough. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I got to do something different. So that's when I went back to school. And it was a long journey, but eventually got my nursing license. And so now I'm making all the money that I want or that I need. Whenever I need, I could just go, pick up a shift somewhere and make that extra money and living comfortably and can buy everything that I need, things that my family want. Just that, so but it was a journey and it was a plan. But you got people who don't have plans. And I think that's where the problem lies. Because I tell people, and I said this in a recent video, you look at a job like McDonald's, that people ain't trying to work. People don't want to work. They claim it's not enough money. Okay, so here's what you do. Number one, stop burning all your bridges. Get a good report back with your family. Maybe friends, I don't know, but at least back with your family, maybe your homegirls, homeboys, whatever. And you get your job and you keep it, be stable. If you owe people money, you start paying it back. You start doing something for people. You don't just be you just don't like, be a leech or a succubus or whatever you call it. And you be a blessing to everybody. And a lot of times people won't even take it. It's just that the thought of, hey, let me pay what I owe. Let me get back in good graces because one day you might need them people again. And you don't really want to be relying on people all the time because people that rely on folks all the time, one day that person might be gone. Then what you gonna do? How you gonna make it? Well, if you can make it if they gone, you need to start making it now. But anyway, get back in good graces with those. Get a job that you can keep. Go to work on time. Pay your bills. Pay your people back. Whatever the case may be. Then you can get to a point to where maybe you may have to move back home. Or you may got a couple of homeboys, a couple of homegirls and say, hey, or even family members, brothers, sisters, cousins, let's get an apartment together. It's hard out here. Let's get an apartment together. Let's share the bills and, try to come up like that. Because you can't do it out here by yourself now. If you got a bunch of kids, that might not work. You might sound good at first, but then a bunch of kids in the house and a bunch of women in the house, that never works out. But anyway, so let's say you move back home and you working, so you making this money. Go to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's and get a managerial job. You can work managerial jobs at night. Work there for a little while. You get paid what, $14 an hour? And a lot of times folks say being a manager is not worth it. It's not worth it. The headache only getting paid $14 an hour. Hell, even where I work at now, I'm like, nah, I couldn't be a manager. I've done it before, but I say I can't do it now. But the only reason why I say I can't do it now because I don't have a plan right now to move up in the company, move up like that, like in the corporate world. Now, if a corporate job position might come up, or if I start thinking like that, and when I say corporate, I mean like corporate office jobs like that, then yeah, I might do it. You know what I'm saying? Try to figure out a pathway to, be a clinic manager again and then more to be like maybe a district or regional manager, whatever, and then manage few clinics, and then might move up to the corporate office, and then travel around the country, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what you should do with your job at McDonald's. Become a manager, manage one McDonald's, and then maybe move up to manage a few of them in that region. They say, hey, we're looking for a local manager, and like I said, if you got a plan, then the $14 an hour will make sense. You got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues. That's what people don't like to do. People don't like to pay dues. People don't like to work. They think it's supposed to be smooth selling. That's not how you make it. That's not how you really grow. You gotta earn it. Pay your dues, manage one store, and then say, hey, a job will come up where you can manage more than one store. The next thing you know, you manage a few stores in the region. Then next thing you know, you've been in a company long enough for a while to where you might say, hey, I'm really thinking about maybe owning my own store. And you look into it, and if you got a good rapport, then with the higher ups, next thing you know, your money right, your credit right, your history is right with the business, with the company. They might find you a store. They could be either for sale or they might build one from the ground up. So now you got you a store. And the thing about it, once you get you a store, they want you to buy. They're going to want you to buy more. They're going to want you to have a goal of maybe having 4, 5, 10 stores in the future. But that takes time and that takes work. And like I say, a lot of times people don't think about that. I mean, don't want to do it. They don't plan that far ahead. I'm trying to like I say, it took me years to get my nursing license, but I was going through the divorce, starting over from scratch. You've heard the story. You heard all the stories. So, but eventually it all paid off, and so now, you know, I'm reaping the benefits, and now I can continue to advance and move up and do what I need to do. In order to get to where I need to get to, because now I have the ability to be able to do it. But it took time. So that's how you got to think. You got to take time, because you sit around and say, man, I can't, I mean, I ain't making no money. I ain't got time to do that. You're going to be saying that 10 years from now. And then 15 years from now, you're going to say, damn, if I did it 10 years from now, 10 years ago, actually put my foot down, and put my shovel in the ground and got to work, probably could have had like 3 or 4 McDonald's or whatever. Or if you want to franchise anything else, they want to see, a lot of places will allow you to franchise. They just want you to have the history of running a few restaurants before they allow you to franchise one of their places. But you don't know it unless you look into it. And I think franchising is probably a way to go for people, because a lot of folks can't do it. Everybody can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the ability to do it. So if you got the ability and the wherewithal and the push to do something like that, then you need to get into it. But yeah, I'm not tripping on the dude minimum wage, because, like I said, minimum wages to me was not a job for no long term. What's supposed to be is just supposed to be something that you start out high school, college, get through school, and then you move up. But you know what I'm saying? You got some people, like I say, they just don't have the ambition to do more than what they got, do more than what they're doing, and that's why you continue to have a high poverty class. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. I love to conversate with you guys down there in the comment section. If you know me, you know me. We'll sit there. Forgot the time. I may not get to you immediately, but in the beginning, you put in, like, say, comments, I'll reply, most of the time. But once the comments get into like the dozens and like the hundreds, I might miss some. I might miss a few of them, and then it's like, shoot, then it's like, because I done seen comments I ain't replied to that was months ago, but I didn't see them either. But once I saw them, and then I still may reply if I see them. But like I say, I love conversating with you guys. But if you like to support financially, you get super thanks, super chat, super stickers, and you can go to the description box where links there you can click on to help support the channel there. And also, don't forget to hit that shop button, man. We got some awesome and amazing products I know you would love. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.